Atlyss is a furry action 3D platformer with dungeon crawling, MMO-like mechanics, all neatly wrapped up in PS2-inspired graphics. You've got 3 unique classes, weapons and armor to collect, monsters to beat, bosses to fight, and a world to explore. Need I say more? Atlyss released in early access on Steam about a year ago today, and before that I had freshly gotten my grubby little paws on the itch.io beta playing it during my livestream when I was hunting for new things to play. Since then, this game has had a stranglehold on me. Like, this game is everything I could have wanted, and now I'm constantly thinking about it. Heck, while I'm suffocating in bliss between Angela's thighs, this game has even gone so far as to affect my art. I didn't always draw like this. It's because of Atlyss my characters are... yeah. I've even been conditioned like a good little dodging Gohan to start drooling if the Atlyss Discord server has a new ping. Speaking of which, while writing this video, one such ping occurred during my stream. Oh, everybody shut up. Shut up! Shut the fuck up! Everybody shut up! 6/16, a new update for Atlyss is coming 11/21/2025. Fuck yeah, this is like less than 10 days, 9 days. 9 fucking days. Oh, that's Friday. Oh no, that's a Friday before Fangfest. Fuck. So what is it about this game that's gotten me so infatuated with it? Is it the booba? It's probably the booba, right? Well, actually, it is in fact not the booba. I have a few things about this game that I want to cover that will hopefully shed light on why I love this game so much. And without further introductory paragraph, my name is Sydney Belladonna, and let me tell you about my favorite game. Part 1. Character Creation. Before you do much in Atlyss, you're presented with the character creator. Now I love a good character creator. Getting to make your own custom avatar to play as in a world will never not be fun and immersive. Well, until you realize, like I did, you suck at making good looking characters, or that the creator is mostly lip service. I feel as though character creators dip into 2 camps, the Dark Souls/Skyrim slider route, or the pre-made face pick your palette swap route. But I think Atlyss's approach mixes the two pretty well. Atlyss leans more towards the preset route, however it does have sliders that adjust proportions and other features. The inclusion of 5 races also helps each one fit into a specific category you might be after. Poons are the cat, deer, bunny, wolf things. Changs are
Rants, we are the rants, celebrate another one of birthday match.
but also mice and squirrels. Kobolds are mostly lizards or dragon dog things. Imps, which are like goblin, fish, shark, sea creature things. And Birdles.
Rivali's Gale is now ready.
Each race has a variety of options and body morphs that make it easy to make your own unique character. Hell, to prove this, I asked my viewers to create a blue wolf, the scourge of generic personas. Here are the results, and as you can see, there's a pretty decent variety, even sent around such a generic idea with the amount that I got submitted. The creator is great for making a variety of original characters and different thematic characters depending on the kind of playstyle you want to go for. This kind of customization off the rip is awesome, and why I think a lot of people flock to the game as a way to make their OCs have some kind of body. It really feels like the MLP Ponysona creator from back in the day. I used to play with that thing all the time. I think it's still around, I'm not certain. Also in the creator, you get to pick out your weapon and set your stats. This leads us into Part 2, Classes and Combat. Atlyss has a very friendly class system built into the game. You start off as the Novice class, and will remain so until you hit level 10. But you can still stay a Novice after level 10, you're not forced to change classes. While playing as a Novice, you're not really forced into any one role. You'll be able to pick up skill books from NPCs and from defeated mobs that give you access to a bunch of different abilities. Atlyss uses a hotbar system for skills, numbered 1 through 6 on the keyboard. No idea for controller just yet. But it also uses an action system instead of a tab targeting system, which I actually prefer. You're able to swing or shoot whatever weapon you have whenever you want to. All classes have access to blocking and parrying, and the parry window is super kind to the player. Same with some mobs telegraphing their moves by changing color. No pinpoint Dark Souls accuracy required here or reading super specific moves. After hitting level 10, the 3 Guardian NPCs, Angela, Enoch, and Sally, will each have a quest for you that you can do only once. This is probably my only gripe with the game, but I understand why it's a thing. You can't change classes once you've made your decision, but you can reset ability points and attribute points at any time so long as you buy the requisite item. In Atlyss, you have the original trilogy to pick from when it comes to classes: Fighter, Mystic, and Bandit. While there are some items that are class-locked like armor or shields, most weapons can be shared across classes. If there's a certain weapon you like, but you want to play a class that doesn't really use it, you can. You can change what a weapon's scaling stat is through Vivian, the enchanting NPC. So if you're playing a strength-based fighter, you can change that magic bell from scaling with mind to scaling with strength. Same thing goes for any weapon. You can also equip 2 weapons and swap between them whenever you want. You'll also swap hotbars when you change weapons, meaning you can have 12 slots for skills instead of just the usual 6. You can also just lock the weapon itself, but still change hotbars with the same button. It's pretty great. Balancing out between skills you want to use and weapons you want to have really gives the game a lot of freedom in how you customize and build your character. And with how simple the game's stats are to understand, being strength, mind, dexterity, and vitality, it's not a far off conclusion on how to math out your character. Heck, mathing out your character isn't even that big of a deal sometimes. So long as you're doing what's fun and can clear rooms, you're doing fine. Which I really appreciate about this game's design. At no point while engaging in combat do I feel like I've put in the wrong stats if I hit a challenge. I just know my level isn't high enough to breeze through it yet. That too, the game doesn't scale with you. There are leveled zones. So eventually you'll outscale them and can return later and just lawnmower things there easily. This means you're always hitting appropriately leveled content as you progress through. Part 3, Questing. Quests in Atlyss are simple and usually are used to explain some lore or point you in a general direction. I mean, that is the basic idea of doing a quest in a video game. They'll have you travel to new locations, fighting monsters you were already going to fight, clearing dungeons you were already going to clear, and through reward you for your time. Most quests are repeatable and will net you some good XP, money, and items. The quests stay simple, so simple that you don't need some stupid yellow paint or AoE map marker, or even a map marker in general to tell you where to go. Too many games try nowadays to tote around that their RPG experience is immersive because you don't need a map marker, which is like fine for a certain crowd, but I'm stupid and games like that are usually kind of mean when it comes to not telling you what to do. But I just like the simple go do thing kind of quests. I don't mind the old, classic World of Warcraft, kill 5 kobolds, get 10 wolf pelts, fight this one specific boss, so on and so forth. Because I kind of like that. Because the activity is the fun bit. The quest part isn't the fun bit. Doing the thing is the fun part. With no marker but simple text like, go to the Eiffel Terrace and kill some slimes, means that you're going to be exploring naturally looking for a way to get to this location, especially if it's your first time. And when you find it, it's like, hey, I found it. And that's a nice feeling. I don't think many games get that because they go to Goldshire, talk to this guy. There's an arrow pointing directly to where you're supposed to go along the way. And that makes you feel less like a seasoned adventurer and more like a guest at Disney World. It's a small pump of dopamine to my stupid dumb brain when I complete a little list of activities to do. And Atlyss lets you do that. No grandiose over-the-top quests or mystery solving by holding the right-click mouse button and following the footsteps to a different location that is already marked on the map. None of that. You get told to go kill 5 slimes, so you go kill 5 slimes, and then you go back and you get rewarded. Go into the crypt and attune with the sigil. So what do? You go into the crypt and you attune to the sigil, and then you go back and you get rewarded for it. Rinse, repeat across the game. How many times in Final Fantasy XIV is it that you're gonna go talk to 3 people, get a small amount of information from each one, and then finally the quest is gonna be like, okay, now we can tell you who to actually go talk to? What's the point of that? Is it challenging to right-click and talk to people? That's not fun.
Let me know if you find anything of interest. Alright, so what? Go interact with 3 items and then report back?
I was kidding! That's why games like World of Warcraft are so mindless now, and why when Final Fantasy XIV's story kinda sucks, it makes players lose interest. But in Atlyss? Dude, I just want to fight things. I got a quest to go fight this world boss slime chick that shoots slime from her tits. Like, let's go beat her butt. Let's do this. Then the fight itself is fun. Or exploring a new location, because that's where your target monsters are that you've never seen before. It's fun. Maybe I'm just not a fan of modern MMO quest structure. But you know what I hate worse than modern MMO quest structures? Modern Part 4. Dungeons. Dungeons are an RPG staple. Crypts, castles, instance bullshit, the works. Atlyss is no different, hosting 2 instance dungeons and 1 open world dungeon at the moment of writing. According to previous information, the plan is there for to be 6 dungeons in total, 2 for each zone, I guess. But dungeons for me are somewhat hit or miss in most games. As much as I love Final Fantasy XIV, their dungeon design is it's just hot garbo. I am so sorry. 2 to 3 trash pack pulls until you hit a wall, rinse, repeat, same shit every day. Doesn't even matter what the mobs look like or what kind of AoEs they drop, it's all the same. It's bad, I hate it. The only time anything interesting happens is during boss fights, and those are usually Fisher-Price baby games put square in square hole. Not anything super out there. World of Warcraft, the biggest MMO on the planet, just in name alone, also has dungeons, obviously, and I do actually prefer the way WoW handles its dungeons. They feel a bit more like lived-in locations, structures with purpose and spiraling walkways, caverns, a little bit of backtracking, so on and so forth. So if Final Fantasy XIV is a roller coaster with the occasional loop, and I hate roller coasters by the way, and World of Warcraft is walking through a museum, I think Atlyss is more compared to like a playground, which is, I like that. I prefer that. Dungeons in Atlyss have 4 key parts to them. I guess that's how I'm gonna separate it for this video. Mob waves, jumping puzzles, treasure, and boss rooms. When entering a dungeon, to progress, you have to clear out rooms of randomly spawning mobs from that dungeon's mob pool. Each mob type has a stronger variant, and those stronger variants can become even stronger with the occasional enchantments that affect their health, damage type, you know how it be. Considering how fun it is to slap dudes and get slapped by dudes, wave rooms are pure chaos and fun, as you'll have a bunch of mobs targeting you trying to overwhelm you, and they can, in fact, overwhelm you and most likely will. The mobs that spawn in the dungeon are usually unique to the dungeon themselves, meaning you won't find them out in the overworld easily. This gives dungeons their own unique little flavor, and it's really fun to go in and see what kind of new mobs you'll fight. Alongside clearing the mob rooms, there are jumping puzzles and switches you have to flip in order to open doors or unlock secrets. These are super simple, but just the addition of them makes these dungeons feel a little more fleshed out and kind of fun. Sometimes even just getting from one mob room to another requires a jumping puzzle, because, it feels like you're romping your way through a dungeon that you're not meant to really get through. But you and your ability to move around with your double jump and your dash, feels pretty good. These two key features keep the action high and varied even when you're running the same dungeon a few times. As the dungeons are not procedurally generated, they have variants that move some rooms around, but they're all pre-constructed from what I can tell. And frankly, I prefer that. It lends itself to speedrunning and quick clears, rather than making you slog through fight after fight to figure out where you're going or getting a scuffed run that lacks high amounts of treasure chests. Speaking of which, there are treasure chests in the dungeons that spit out items Borderlands style. No Zelda none of that shit. Nah. You just open the chest and out comes the treasure. You get weapons, armor, recovery items, and money. Just the same as you would defeating enemies. Who doesn't love loot? Am I right? Am I right? Come on. That's what we do this for. That's what we go into those dungeons for. We going for the loot. Then once you've cleared the dungeon proper and optionally pilfered every box in the tri-state area, you unlock the portal to the boss room. This is a dedicated arena where you will fight the boss of the dungeon. These guys are unique mobs that have their own set of abilities, and after beating them, you'll get money, a badge, and a chest will spawn with a random boss drop. It won't always be what you want, and that's where the badge comes in handy. One of my favorite things about Atlyss is how kind it is to the player. I've mentioned it a few times at this point. I feel that the game's kindness is like a thing, but that's because it actively takes steps to make your life a little easier while playing. Another example of this kindness is actually the badges. These are tokens you can turn into vendors outside the dungeon portal for gear and boss drops if you've been unlucky while farming. And you don't need like 10 of them, or 20, or 50, or even 99. At most, you need 3. Between the fast-paced, snappy dungeon antics, random loot drops, fun challenging bosses, and a nice-to-the-player badge system, these are probably my favorite dungeons out of any game I've ever played. And I'm excited for more. I also didn't even mention the scaling difficulties based off level that change the tone, layout, and mobs in the dungeon. So even if it's just a palette swap, it brings new stuff to the table. And with certain loot pools for each dungeon, if you're after a specific item or outfit, there's a reason to loot back to older content, even at higher levels. But all of this talk of dungeoneering and got me feeling a type of way. Like, man, I wish I could share this dungeon romp and adventuring with my friends. Oh, wait! Part 5, MMO Mechanics. A large part that aids in my enjoyment of this game is the multiplayer aspect. You can host a lobby of up to 16 players without some kind of mod to change the number. I don't know how to do that. If anyone in the comments can tell me how to do that so I can get more people into my servers, that'd be great. Just let me know. That'd be awesome. And have a party as far as I remember, up to 5 members, which is a lot actually. It's I'm used to 4 like total players, but that's pretty cool. Parties are only required for dungeons and sharing mob kills, so having a full goof troop lobby just messing around is entirely possible. I've been able to use this feature to play the game with my viewers, and frankly, it's the most fun I've had with any online game. We play new characters every fresh update, and in between I try to host some events. We actually did a PvP event a while ago, and it went really well. We'll definitely be doing another one, so if you want in, like and subscribe to see when that's happening. Hey. I also want to do a parkour event, but I'm still hammering out the details on how to make that work. Playing with other people also helps make the choices you, the player, choose mean more. Like, what character did I make? What outfit am I wearing? What skills did I choose? What weapons do I run? What weapon am I hunting? Do you guys need something from this dungeon? Do you guys want to go do some jumping puzzles? Do you want to know about the secret? Whoa, check out this place. Did you want to go fishing? Hey, I found some ore over here. My mining level isn't high enough. Can you mine it for me? That'd be pretty nice. The small scale multiplayer and easy access makes it so much fun to play with others. The fact that I can play with people and they can play alongside me, genuinely makes it that much more of a special game, especially with how small the lobbies actually are, and really lends itself to streaming. Honestly, again, seriously, stop by anytime you see me playing, and if there's room to hop in, come on by. We'll definitely be playing during any updates in the future, and this update that's supposed to be happening today. But even if I didn't have access to multiplayer during the beta, I still love this game. And that's mostly because it's a roguelike without the bullshit. Part 6. A roguelike without the bullshit. After this whole video, and me describing how much I like the simple loop of the game, being given quests to run out and fight things, return with the quest and get stronger, go back out and do it again, I can see how you would assume that I would actually be a fan of roguelikes, when in fact, I kinda hate them. They're all the same game with a different coat of paint, and every time I play one, I get really disappointed. It doesn't matter how cool the concept is or how good the combat feels, that's just not enough for a game to stand on its own for me. Because once I beat a run, like in Gunfire Reborn, Godbreakers, Windblown, Dead Cells, Dungeons of Dreadmore, the whole draw of the game like this just is the endless loop. They're random, they're sporadic, you can get an entirely different run out of them each time, and that gets boring. The way they do unique runs in these kinds of games is by removing the things that made you strong. Sure, you get cumulative upgrades after a run that lets you go back in stronger, but then it just becomes looping the same content you've already seen to get stronger in meaningless ways, like having more health potions or being able to start with better gear, until there's nothing left to do. And I don't know why that doesn't really click with me. Usually I'm really good with understanding something that makes me feel a certain way, but I don't really know why I don't like it. But I just find roguelikes really boring. And kind of a bit of a slog, too. But Atlyss does what roguelikes do, but makes the randomized run exclusive to the character. Your upgrades that occur as you play is the loot that you're picking up and deciding to keep instead of selling. And you are able to go store it in a storage box that is across your entire account. Now when you start a new run, whenever you hit the level requirement for an upgrade, you don't have to worry about farming it out, which saves you time and nets that character more money as they can sell the repeated gear. This, in tune with the character creation, really lends itself to alts. You can make a lot of your own unique characters, or in my case, the same character as a different class, and play them in a variety of ways that are more structured than the randomized runs of a roguelike. Yet are still random because you're mostly relying on either new drops or old drops. Plus, down the line, Kislev is going to be adding, or rather fleshing out as some are already in the game, subclasses. So far we have Paladin for Fighter, then Bishop and Mages for Mystic. Each base class is going to have 2 subclasses, meaning there are 6 total classes to play as. This doesn't include the mashup of weapons you can mix together, the stat distribution for each character, the way each character is designed to fit a certain style. Heck, it's already happening. I have a viewer who just maxed out their entire vitality stat as a fighter in order to be super tanky. I have another put together a pure mind build with no vitality, meaning their damage is cracked, but they can easily get one-shot. One of the finalists in our PvP tournament made a whole character designed around rocks, using skills centered around rocks to fight. And they were a finalist, so this build wasn't, like, bad. It was actually pretty good. And this is why I love Atlyss. Part 7. Customization. If you've been paying attention to what I've been saying, you'll have seen this coming from a mile away, because it's had its hand in every category. Customization is the true core of Atlyss. From the moment you enter the game, it says, create your experience. Whether you want to play single player or multiplayer, there's even no drawback to choosing whatever race you want. They might have racial skills, but those don't matter because you can get them as a scroll for any race. You're not missing out if you make a kobold fighter or a Bertle mystic, even though their skills are kind of centered around different classes. You can customize your own build and way to play as you test out weapon synergies and map out skill points. If you want to make a guy that throws rocks, you can make a guy that throws rocks. If you want to be a super tanky fighter, make a super tanky fighter. You can freely change your outfit without affecting your stats with the vanity menu. You can adjust what bonuses your gear gives with enchanting. You can re-edit your character freely except for their race. You can carve out your own experience with selecting what quests you want to do. If you want to do dungeon spam, you can. If you want to do overworld farming, you also can. If you just want to jump around and run about, you can. You can play with your friends however you want to, whether it's using it as a fishing, chill out, and relax game, or as a roleplay venue, or doing PvP, or race to see who can get to the top of Atlyss Tower first, or do dungeons together, or ignore your friends entirely and let them do their own thing while you pull in every other MMO player and do stuff by yourself. And yes, there are other games that do what Atlyss does, but none that I've played do everything Atlyss does and have it all be so cohesive. I've played far too many games that are sandboxes with dungeons and RNG loot and skill trees and yada yada, you get the idea. But none have been so gentle, kind, and fun as Atlyss has been for me. Because it lets me do what I want to do. Make what I want to make. Be who I want to be and play how I want to play. This is why Atlyss is my favorite game. Thank you for watching. I know this was probably a super ramble-heavy video, but I'm glad to have finally finished it. I've wanted to cover Atlyss for a really long time, like really, really long time. If you enjoyed, remember to like and subscribe and all that other junk. Ring the bell and all that garbage. If you're new here, hi! I'm a live streamer here on YouTube and usually go live after 4:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, anytime except Thursdays during the week. Unless it's a special occasion. Weekends are a little more up in the air. If you like art, comics, and random assortment of games and animation on the side, this is the place for you. And like I said in the video, we do in fact do Atlyss-oriented events where you can win free art and play during any and all updates. So if you want a solid group to join in with, hey, why not? We have a free to join Discord through our Patreon. You don't have to spend any money, just join as a free member and follow the link. There are tiers available for those interested. And with all that being said, thank you again for watching, and I hope to see you in stream chat sometime. I've been Sydney Belladonna, and this is why I love Atlyss. Oh no, that's why Atlyss is my favorite game. That's the title of the video.